We now have Tesla's sales figures in Europe and China. Of course, Tesla sales in Europe have gone down drastically. A lot of people say that's because of Elon Musk. Of course, it's a combination of that and also the fact that there is a brand new Tesla Model Y Juniper that's going to be out within a matter of weeks in Europe. In China, we have numbers that show Tesla sales are down 33% from December, but actually not too bad when compared to January of last year. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Tesla has actually sold what I think is a pretty good result, 63,238 cars in January. Now, this includes exports. So we don't know how many of these cars were actually sold in China. That is technically down from 71,450 a year ago, down 11.5%. And of course, it's down 32.56% from December. Now, obviously, you can't really compare it to December. Well, you can. I mean, Xpeng sales in January were almost the same as what their sales were in December. But everyone else in China, their numbers are always way down in January versus December. So the real month to compare it to is January of last year. And numbers were down by 11.5%. Now, part of that is probably because Tesla, I believe, have suspended some of their production lines at their factory to manufacture the new Tesla Model Y Juniper, which will be being delivered to customers within weeks in China. Now, there's some new features that have been revealed on the Model Y Juniper that we didn't know about before, and those are quite interesting. I'll actually talk about those in a separate video. Tesla sold a total of 63,240 Chinese-made vehicles in January. Now, that includes those made in China, those sold in China, and also sold outside of China in places like Australia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and, of course, Europe as well, which also get the Model 3, Tesla Model 3, that is made in China. Keep in mind that pretty much all car factories in China are shut down from January 28 to February the 4th. That's the Chinese New Year holiday, which is just absolute chaos in China. It's kind of interesting to be in China during that period of time because the country just goes into this kind of wild mode where everyone's trying to get places, everyone's trying to go on holidays, and everything kind of goes a bit crazy. You'd think it's holidays and be quiet, but it's not actually. It's quite the opposite. Now, apparently Tesla had planned to suspend part of their production lines in Shanghai that make their revamped Model Y for about 3 weeks during the Chinese New Year. So I'm going to guess that sales numbers in February will probably be even worse than this, and they should then bounce back in March. Now, guys, I've actually seen some images of Tesla Model Y Junipers being driven around on trucks in China, like a whole bunch of them. I don't know if they're pre-production models or if they're actually vehicles being driven to customers, but it's surprising to see that. Tesla sales as well have been actually remarkably good. In fact, apparently Tesla actually got more than 70,000 orders for the Model Y placed within the first 5 days after it went on sale. Those numbers are good, but to be honest, they're not really absolutely incredible. Xiaomi's SU7, they got 100,000 orders within the same period of time. Xpeng's Mona, they got similar numbers. I think they got about 50,000. Xpeng P7 Plus, around 50,000 as well. Zeekr 7X was similar numbers too. I think they're about 40,000. So good sales numbers for Tesla with the new Model Y Juniper, but actually not amazing numbers like we've seen, for example, with the Xiaomi SU7. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Bye-bye. Demand for the Tesla Cybertruck may not be, anywhere near as much as what we thought it would be and what Tesla thought it would be, but there are some good news stories popping up around the Cybertruck and its apparent ability to hit anything and still be fine. Now, the truth is that you're not indestructible in a Cybertruck. People have died in some Cybertruck crashes that were just insane, that I don't think anything could have, any real vehicle could have withstood that kind of force. But it's kind of interesting to see what happens when you hit a deer. I was riding my bicycle with my wife I was riding from down towards San Francisco, but it was a couple of hours north on the coast road. This was in the evening, right along, and I saw a Ford Mustang had driven into the ocean. It was either the ocean or a river. I don't remember. It was either, anyway, I saw this Ford Mustang and the front of it was in the ocean and a guy was getting out, trying to get out of his door. And I actually think he wound down the window and climbed out the window. And I was thinking, why is he in the ocean? What happened? Did he fall asleep? Anyhow, it turns out he'd hit a deer. So the front of his car was just destroyed. And I've since then seen other people hit deers. I personally have hit a kangaroo. Well, a kangaroo hit me. I was driving along the road and this kangaroo just comes out of nowhere and runs at my car, basically dives into the side of it. It was insane. It put a dent in the side of my Mitsubishi. That wasn't too bad. But generally when you hit a kangaroo or you hit a deer or something like that, your car is going to be just totaled, annihilated. And here in Australia, a lot of people use bull bars. They use these big metal kind of things they put on the front of their cars to protect you from basically getting your car smashed right in from a collision with an animal. Deer, they get pretty big. This Tesla Cybertruck actually hit a deer at 75 miles an hour and just kept driving as though nothing happened. Now, as you can see, something did happen, but not very much. In fact, it was remarkable how little damage the Cybertruck had. A new video showing the damage to a Tesla Cybertruck after a high-speed deer impact shows the Cybertruck is pretty damn strong in a deer situation. So if you're driving in roads where you're driving maybe on freeways where there are deer around, it could be a good option as a car in order to, protect yourself and the occupants of your vehicle. According to Justin Demery, the incident happened at around 4 a.m. as he and others were traveling to Boca Chica. Out of nowhere, a deer stepped into the path of the Cybertruck, and there was no way to avoid hitting it. This wasn't a small deer. It was a 6-point buck. Those things are enormous. I saw some of those near the Redwoods in California. They scared me a bit, to be honest. Anyhow, it hit the pickup on the front driver's side corner where the front wraps around to the side. The deer, it didn't survive, but as you can see, the truck did incredibly well. Demery, who runs the Bearded Tesla social media account, showed off the damage soon after the crash. The front fender is pushed back toward the cab slightly. The inner fender liner is clearly damaged. The strip of metal above the window is bent back, but apparently this is a Turo rental. So we've got no idea what it's going to cost, but it's estimated it'll cost around $5,000 to repair. Seems pretty good to me. I'd be very happy with this if I hit a deer in this, and it wasn't my vehicle, for one, and two, it withstood the incident this well. So, Eric Lutz, a former law enforcement officer, said of the crash and resulting damage, "I worked in law enforcement for 5 years, worked countless deer wrecks. This is insane how well it held up."